You feel hungry right now, or you will within a few hours. That empty feeling in your stomach, maybe a slight headache, a little irritability. You call that hunger. Your ancestors would have laughed at you if they had the energy to laugh. Because what you call hunger is not hunger. It's the absence of a snack. Real hunger, the kind your ancestors faced, feels different. Your body doesn't just complain, it begins to eat itself. Your muscles shrink, your brain slows. Your bones release calcium into your blood because your heart needs it to keep beating. And you become capable of eating things that would make a modern person vomit. Boiled leather, crushed bone marrow, half-digested grass from a dead animal's stomach. Lichens scraped off rocks. The inner bark of pine trees. This is what ancient humans ate during famine. And somehow they survived. You wouldn't, not because the food is poison, but because you've never trained your body to be truly hungry. Let me show you what real hunger looks like, and why your 3 meals a day are a luxury that has made you fragile. You wake up, you eat breakfast. You feel hungry again by noon, lunch, then dinner. And if you miss any of these, you say, "I'm starving." But think about this. The average person in a wealthy country today eats more food in a single week than a hunter-gatherer might eat in a good month of lean season. And yet we have an obesity epidemic. Hunger for us is a mild discomfort. For your ancestors, it was a survival exam, and most of them failed it. That's the part history books don't show. Famine was normal. Every few years, the hunt failed, the rains didn't come, the roots dried up, and half the camp could die. But the other half, the ones who survived, had bodies that could do something yours cannot. Switch fuel sources. Here's a fact that will shock you. Your body has 2 engines. One runs on glucose. The other runs on ketones. You only use the first one. Because you eat every few hours, your body never needs to switch. Your ancestors switched regularly. When food ran out after 16 to 20 hours, their livers began converting stored fat into ketones. Ketones are cleaner fuel. They reduce inflammation, sharpen mental focus, and protect muscles from breaking down. In 2018, neuroscientist Dr. Mark Mattson published a landmark study. He showed that intermittent fasting, going without food for 16 hours, triggers the same metabolic switch that kept ancient humans alive during famine. His research found that this switch increases the production of BDNF, a protein that grows new brain cells and protects against Alzheimer's. Your ancestors didn't fast for health. They fasted because they had no choice, but their brains worked better because of it. You've never let your body make that switch. You eat breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks. Your body runs on cheap glucose all day, and you wonder why you feel foggy, inflamed, tired. Now let's talk about the food itself. When we imagine ancient diets, we think of roasted meat and wild berries. But during famine, that romantic image disappears. Here is a list of real famine foods documented by anthropologists studying modern hunter-gatherers and historical records. Bone broth and crushed marrow. They didn't waste a single bone. They cracked them open, boiled them for hours, and ate the fatty marrow. Marrow is pure energy, high in fat and collagen. The inner bark of pine trees, called cambium. It's not wood, it's the soft, living layer under the bark. Dried and ground into flour. Tastes like sawdust, but it keeps you alive. Lichens, those gray, crusty things on rocks. Some species are edible after boiling to remove bitter acids. One lichen, called Iceland moss, was used as a famine food in northern Europe for centuries. Half-digested grass from herbivore stomachs. When a deer or bison was killed in winter, its stomach contained partially fermented grass. Ancient humans ate this. It sounds disgusting, but it's packed with B vitamins and probiotics. Boiled animal hides, untanned leather, cut into strips and boiled for 24 to 48 hours. It becomes a gelatinous paste. No flavor, but it provides amino acids. Acorns. Raw acorns are poisonous due to tannins, but ancient humans learned to leach them in running water for days, then grind them into a sweet, nutritious flour. You read that list and feel disgust. That's your privilege speaking. Your ancestors ate these things without hesitation. Not because they were stupid or primitive, because they were alive. In the 1940s, Dr. Ansel Keys conducted the Minnesota Starvation Experiment. He took 36 healthy young men and reduced their calories by half for 6 months. They ate a European famine diet: potatoes, turnips, bread, small amounts of meat. Sound familiar? That's better than what ancient humans had. The results were terrifying. Within weeks, the men became obsessed with food. They dreamed of eating. They lost interest in sex, in friends, in everything. Their heart rates dropped. Their body temperatures fell. They became depressed, anxious, and irritable. When the experiment ended, several couldn't stop eating and gained dangerous amounts of weight. Some developed permanent psychological damage. Now imagine that same experiment, but without the potatoes and bread, without the controlled calorie count, without the promise that it would end. That was life for ancient humans. Every winter, every drought, every failed hunt. And yet their bodies adapted. Their metabolisms became flexible. Their guts learned to extract nutrients from bark and bone. Your metabolism is rigid because it has never been tested. But famine didn't just change their bodies. It changed their minds. Modern research on intermittent fasting shows something remarkable. After 24 hours without food, human growth hormone increases by 2,000%. This hormone repairs cells, burns fat, and sharpens cognition. Your ancestors sitting in a dark cave with no food were not just surviving. They were becoming more alert, more focused, more able to find the next meal. This is the hunter's paradox. Hunger doesn't make you weak. It makes you sharp. For the first 24 to 48 hours, your brain actually works better. You notice patterns. You remember where you saw a particular plant 3 years ago. You solve problems faster. You've never felt this. Your mild, hangry state is not hunger. It's sugar withdrawal. Real hunger, once you get past the first day, is a state of calm clarity. And we modern humans have no idea it exists. We traded famine for abundance. That sounds like progress. But abundance came with a cost. 3 meals a day, processed carbs, constant snacking. These have locked your body into glucose burning mode. You can't access your fat stores. You can't make ketones. You've lost metabolic flexibility. Worse, you've lost the psychological experience of true hunger. You've never felt your body begin to heal itself. You've never experienced that strange, quiet alertness that comes after a day of no food. You've never known the relief of finding a handful of dried berries after 3 days of nothing. Your ancestors lived in a world where hunger was a regular visitor. They didn't fear it. They adapted to it. You fear the mildest hunger. You carry snacks in your bag. You eat before you're hungry. And your body has become a machine that runs on a fuel source that is slowly killing you. Tonight, when you feel a little hungry before dinner, pause. That's not hunger. That's a suggestion. Real hunger is a transformation. It's your body switching engines, sharpening your mind, preparing you for survival. Your ancestors knew this. They lived it every winter. You've never been truly hungry, and that's not a blessing. It's a form of blindness. You don't know what your body's capable of because you've never let it show you. So next time you skip a meal by choice, don't complain. Thank your ancestors. They survived famine so you could afford to be picky. But don't ever think you're stronger than them. You're not. You're just better fed. And that's not the same thing.